Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about Octreotide. Octreotide is a medication, okay? And I'll be going through the uses, the side effects, and warning. With that in mind, let's go. Octreotide could appear at pharmaceutical stores as either SandoSTATIN or SandoSTATIN LAR Depot or Octreotide Acetate Omega. Depends on your jurisdiction and the pharmaceutical company supplying medication to your center. Is a class of medication that is used as antidiarrhea, as an antidote, and somatostatin analog. It could appear in form of intramuscular kit or in form of SandoSTATIN LAR Depot, and that will be 10 milligram, 20 milligram, or 30 milligram. The injection forms are available as SandoSTATIN 50 microgram per ml, or 100 microgram per ml, 200 microgram per ml, 500 microgram per ml, or 1000 microgram per ml. It could be administered through intravenous route, subcutaneous route, IM, that is intramuscular, or depot. Uses. Octreotide is useful in diabetes mellitus, in chemotherapy, in HIV, graft versus host disease, carcinoid crisis, medullary thyroid carcinoma, VIPomas, short bowel syndrome, bone marrow transplant, or chronic diarrhea, and the list goes on to include Zollinger Ellison syndrome, Thymoma or advanced thymic malignancy, Sulfonylurea induced hypoglycemia. Also useful in malignant bowel obstruction, Hepatorenal Syndrome, Gastroesophageal variceal hemorrhage, given hematemesis, Entero Pancreatic neuroendocrine tumors, that is metastatic in nature, acromegaly, and of course, hypothalamic obesity. I will go through some few selected cases of how we can use Octreotide. And the first on the list will be in case of acromegaly. You can give Octreotide SubQ or intravenously. It will be proper to administer 50 microgram TID, and you can increase up to 100 microgram TID. The maximum range is 300 microgram to 1,500 microgram per day. You can have medication stopped for 4 weeks every 1 year. Let me repeat that. If you are treating acromegaly and you are giving it subcutaneously or intravenously at a dose between 50 microgram to the maximum dosage of 300 microgram to 1,500 microgram per day, then you have to stop the medication for 4 weeks every 1 year. Okay? During the 4 weeks, you have to check the growth hormone level and IGF, meaning insulin-like growth factor 1 level. You have to assay the levels of those two. Then somebody is on SubQ and you want to switch over to depot. You have to stabilize on SubQ for 2 weeks. Then switch to the depot. You can give 20 milligram IM every 4 weeks for 3 months. Let me repeat, you can give 20 milligram IM intramuscularly every month or every 4 weeks for 3 months. You will review your parameters, that is the growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor 1 level. So if the growth hormone is less than or equal to 1 nanogram per ml, or if insulin-like growth factor is normal, then you reduce Octreotide to 10 milligram intramuscularly every 4 weeks. Remember, you started with 20 milligram intramuscularly, but you are getting good report from the growth hormone and you are getting good report from insulin-like growth factor 1, then you don't need to increase the Octreotide anymore. As a matter of fact, you reduce it to half, 10 milligram intramuscularly every 4 weeks. Some will say every month, but I think every 4 weeks will be more appropriate because we'll be able to measure what exactly the duration is, because months are not the same. February could be 28 or 29, or March could be 31, April could be 30, and so on. Still on selected cases, you have to titrate the dose of the acromegaly treatment you now embarking on in the previous slide. You titrate the dose based on growth hormone and insulin growth factor 1. If growth hormone is greater than 2.5 nanogram per ml and insulin-like growth factor 1 is also raised, then you increase the level of Octreotide to 30 milligram intramuscularly every 4 weeks. Remember, I've just said the previous slide that if the value of growth hormone is anything less than 1 nanogram per ml and the level of insulin-like growth factor is dropping, then you reduce Octreotide. Now, you are getting a value of growth hormone that is 2.5 nanogram per ml or greater, and insulin-like growth factor 1 level is also elevated, then you increase the Octreotide to 30 milligram. If you have used maximum Octreotide and you are not winning, then add something else. Add a growth hormone receptor antagonist called pegvisomant, or you can add a dopamine agonist. If the situation at hand is involving carcinoid crisis and is intraoperatively and you are dealing with hypotension, just set your IV line, give Octreotide intravenously 500 to 1000 microgram bolus, then you repeat that every 5 minutes until the symptoms are under control. Or you may choose to give it bolus to be followed by 50 to 200 microgram per hour continuous infusion while the procedure will still be ongoing. If you are dealing with diarrhea, start with intravenous dosage of 50 microgram to 100 microgram every 8 hours. You can increase by 100 microgram per dose at 48 hours intervals. For example, you are dealing with chronic diarrhea in a patient and you have chosen to use Octreotide. The first thing to do is give Octreotide at 50 microgram every 8 hours for 48 hours. But if you are not winning, then after 48 hours, you can increase the dosage of the Octreotide to 150 microgram every 8 hours. After that 8 hours, 48 hours complete and you are still not winning, you can increase to 250 microgram every 8 hours for another 48 hours. So the maximum you could reach every 8 hours is 500 microgram. Okay, if you are dealing with chronic diarrhea that is associated with chemotherapy, then you can give Octreotide 100 microgram to 150 micrograms SubQ every 8 hours. But IV or infusion could be used if the situation is complicated. If the diarrhea is associated with graft versus host disease, then you can use IV 500 micrograms every 8 hours, but stop within 24 hours of diarrhea resolution. If not, you might be tilting the patient to paralytic ileus. So to prevent paralytic ileus, stop within 24 hours of diarrhea resolution. You can't give the Octreotide more than 7 days. Let me repeat, you can't give the Octreotide for more than 7 days if you are using the Octreotide through this route for this purpose, graft versus host disease. The last example I'm going to give is upper gastrointestinal bleeding or hematemesis. You can give intravenous antibiotics empirically for 7 days if you are dealing with associated cirrhosis. Also, you can give your Octreotide 50 microgram bolus, then continue infusion at 50 microgram per hour for the next 5 days. You can repeat bolus in the first 4 hours if hemorrhage is not controlled. Note this, in renal impairment, clearance is reduced by 50%. So discuss with your pharmacist or else you might be double dosing. In hepatic impairment, the half-life is prolonged, clearance is reduced, and you are forced to use lower doses. Also discuss with your pharmacist. In pediatrics, be very, very careful. It would be nice if you can contact your pediatrician or your pharmacist. However, if you are stuck and you couldn't reach any of them, 1 to 4 microgram per kilogram per hour infusion or 1 to 5 microgram per kilogram per dose every 8 hours subcutaneous, or 1 to 2 microgram per kilogram bolus IV could be administered. But then, don't take the risk. Contact some other physicians around you, pediatrician or pharmacist, or you don't use it at all. In elderly, please start very low and increase slowly. The adverse reactions. Bradycardia. No one will want to get into that because that could kill. Hypertension. That's why it's used in carcinoid crisis with hypotension. Fatigue, headache, dizziness, pain, pruritus, alopecia. That is those that are using it for a long period of time. Abdominal discomfort, diarrhea. What an irony. It's used to treat diarrhea but also could induce diarrhea, right? Depends on the dosage. Nausea, flatulence, cholelithiasis, anemia. Still on adverse reactions, there could be pain at the injection sites, back pain, arthropathy, myalgia, upper respiratory tract infection, flushing, edema, goiter, hypothyroidism, anesmos, steatorrhea, urinary tract infection, blood vision, epistaxis, pulmonary embolism, malignant apotemia, ascites, pleural effusion, deafness, decreased libido, and so on. Okay, warnings or precautions. First, it's going to be wise to be sure that this patient that will be taking Octreotide has not had any history of hypersensitivity to Octreotide or any of its components. So we're going to take history, family history, and personal history of reaction to Octreotide. But if we can't get that, okay, we can place the patient on Octreotide, but we have to inform and involve the nurses to watch out for signs of hypersensitivity or anaphylactic reaction. And the first thing is stop the medication if it is infusion, then give me a shout immediately. But if it's not infusion, if it is SubQ or IM or IV bolus, then give me a shout immediately. The warnings or precautions will include if you are dealing with someone and you are suspecting vitamin B12 deficiency, it is better you take your samples for your test before administering Octreotide. The reason is with Octreotide, you are likely going to get abnormal Chillen's test. And you should monitor for cholelithiasis because there's likelihood of decreased bile secretion and prevention of gallbladder contractility. We have to use with caution in people with insulinoma. Originally, they'll be dealing with hypoglycemia, but in the presence of Octreotide, the hypoglycemic effect will be worse. It suppresses thyroid-stimulating hormone, so watch out for abnormality of thyroid gland. Monitor for pancreatitis, and be careful in heart failure. Why that? It could give bradycardia. Be careful in hepatic and renal impairment because you may be double dosing. Be careful in pediatric age group. It is going to be wise to contact your pediatrician or the pharmacist. For drug-drug interaction, I will leave you and your pharmacist to rattle that. And with that, I've come to the end of this very presentation. Kindly subscribe to my channel so that you can get all my presentations immediately they are published. I appreciate it.